you can call it natural to come to a point where you have the feeling that you are a bit lost because you don't know exactly how to do things, what the next steps are, being overwhelmed by that beginning of an understanding how everything is interacted and that there is so much that is interacting. Well, that are actually always good moments because there are moments where you are a little bit forced, so to speak, to relook at things. One of the things that becomes clear also through your experiences is that humans have a tendency to think they know how something works and then to hold on to that. Well, if you begin to look at the world in which you live and everything that influences that world, you have to let go of the basic ideas that is, you can say, underlying science and other systems. Not to throw it away, no, to understand that all those visions, ways of looking, have a certain limitation, and that you need to look at things from a continuous expansion in vision, in information, in understanding, and then coming to, let's say, your next steps in your life. What do you do with it? You can do all that only when you have a sufficient understanding that the planet that you live on has so much more than, you can say, you as humans in this moment are aware of, and that you also need to understand that that planet, of which you already very little are aware of, is also part of a larger system that it is continuously interacting with. Then you understand that you actually are on a journey of exploration. And it is important to once in a while stand still when you understand that and ask yourself, okay, how can I, with where I am now, more optimally contribute to that what you can call unfoldment of potential of the Earth's evolution, or whatever term you prefer. And those moments where you're a little bit lost are those moments where you literally ask yourself that question. How do I want to continue? What is important now? And we are delighted that you are aware of what you have learned to call the 3 C's. One of the things that human beings have not learned is to truly connect. Oh yes, you connect with each other, you communicate with each other, you do that all. But is that from a true connection? Do you truly connect with your pets? Do you connect with a flower that is standing in your house or a plant? Truly connect? Do you even know what connection really is? If you really want to change from being stuck in this way of thinking into opening the doors, the very first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do I truly learn to connect? What do I need to improve my ability to connect with everything around me? In a sense, everything has its story. Everything has its information. Even the table that you're sitting on or sitting at has information about you, a part of your life that you're only partly aware of. And many people will say that's not possible. So there are so many things around you that you have no idea that it can give you information, let alone all that is consciousness, more consciousness than what you have made. A table you have made, and it has, in that sense, a more limited consciousness. But all plants, all animals, bacteria, viruses, everything has a consciousness, and everything wants to communicate. And actually, everything is communicating. But you can only communicate with something when you have made a connection. So without proper connection, no proper communication. And if you can't communicate, how can you then collaborate? And the earth is one huge system that requires those three aspects. And it is from this collaboration that you then co-create a new world. In the first place, balance in the current world, but also expanding it to a new world. What we actually are inviting every human being to do is to start working with those three C's. How to connect, how to truly communicate, also with those invisible systems, those plants that apparently are not speaking, but they do speak to you all the time, those animals that speak to you, but you don't hear them. Those invisible beings, whether you call them dragons or unicorns, all of them are trying to communicate with you, and you don't hear it. So how can you fulfill your function as a co-creator if you are not aware that everything around you is trying to connect with you and to communicate with you so that you can collaborate together in creating this new earth? Why do you think that everything is existing? By accident? That things are useless and have no function? Everything has a function. Everything is part of the whole that you call Mother Earth. They're all expressions of Mother Earth. A good name is indeed metaphysical ecology, because ecology is literally the knowledge of the house that you need in order to do those three C's. The knowledge comes forth out of connection, out of communication, and out of collaboration, because then you see unfoldment of the world you live in. And then you see that you have been gifted with the abilities that you as human beings need to bring into the totality to create a beautiful earth. Not that the earth is not already beautiful, but it will be even so much more beautiful, where there is no disharmony, no destruction, only unfoldment of potential, of the unbelievable beautiful potential of this earth system. Billions of souls have come to witness this, want to contribute. But the big problem is that as soon as you are in this physical system, it is as if you are suffering from amnesia. Suddenly you don't remember anymore why you came. And that's why increasingly you hear, you are here as a co-creator, and you can only fulfill that when you do those three C's. That leads to co-creation. So in this time of transition, where you have the feeling, oh, I don't know what the next steps are, then look at those three C's and say, okay, what is missing? And how can we help each other as humans to fulfill our role? Knowing that we need to learn to connect. How do we do that? How do we, that we need to learn to communicate? How do we do that? And then collaboration will unfold. You don't have to think now, how do we collaborate? Because once you can communicate, you will find your ways. But in order to communicate, you need to connect. So our invitation is, start with those first two C's. Let it run parallel, knowing that out of that the rest will unfold. So learn to connect, and from the possibility to connect, you can learn to communicate. know that there are a tremendous amount of beings that are willing to do that with you, to connect and to communicate. Your first step is to be clear that this is what you choose to do. It's a choice. If you don't choose wholeheartedly, from your heart, to learn, you will never learn it. And there is an infinite number of teachers that can do that. But you can help each other. And that is the last invitation we want to give to you. Help each other to create ways to connect and to communicate. Whatever you do, whatever you choose to unfold. Some people want to write, some people want to do workshops, some people want to do artwork. With all of that, the question is, am I connecting with the world around me through what I do? Am I learning to communicate with the world around me when I do what I do? If you ask yourself those questions, you will see and feel where you miss things, and then you can look for ways to fill the gaps, so to speak. The Center for Metaphysical Ecology has been created through guidance. And that guidance is now coming in to invite those that are connected with it to shift the focus a little bit more clearly on the first two C's: connection, communication. And once you make the decision to do so, you will notice that synchronistically everything comes on your path to bring that out in a way that's truly supportive for everyone who chooses to connect. We are excited because we feel that in the total energy, this is unfolding. And no, and this is a repetition, there's a tremendous amount of beings that are willing to help. Whatever you decide, whatever way you do, we always will love you. And we will always continue to invite you. We love you all.